Sniper Elite, also known as Sniper Elite Berlin 9045, is a 2005 third-person tactical shooter stealth video game developed by Rebellion Developments. In this video I will explain the plot of this game, so be aware of the upcoming spoilers. Also, leave a thumbs up if you like my work. The protagonist of Sniper Elite is Karl Fairburn, a German-born American OSS operative disguised as a German sniper. He is inserted into the Battle of Berlin in 1945 during the final days of World War II, with the critical objective of preventing German nuclear technology from falling into the hands of invading Soviet forces. It's April 16, 1945, and Karl is heading to Karlhorst to meet his informant. He gives Karl intel about his first target, the commander of the fuel dump. Since the commander is out for 4 days, the contact asks Karl to save his friend, who was captured by NKVD. Next mission is to assassinate Martin Bormann himself. Bormann was a German Nazi Party official and head of the Nazi Party Chancellery. First, Karl needs to attack the ammo dump, which needs to be captured to provide supplies. The second target is a small group of tanks. Karl must hit both almost simultaneously. Then, he is ordered to go to the Reichstag. Germans are distracted by the attacking Russian unit that breaks through the gate, and that gives Fairburn a chance to get inside. Then he takes down the AA gun that holds back the Soviets from getting even further, and Karl needs them to progress so he can do his part. Sniper meets another contact near the Brandenburg Gate. He gets a new rifle and goes after Bormann. Karl waits for him to arrive, kills him and his man, and escapes with a truck. Later, Fairburn is sent to find a missing contact in temporary administrative headquarters. The contact was getting info about the German nuclear program that is a part of a bigger picture in this game, but he is missing for some time now. The square is heavily secured, so a more sophisticated plan is needed to get the job done. Karl needs to get papers and uniform from one of the German officers to make it possible for the OSS agents to drive a truck inside the square. Then he goes to the top of the cathedral building and makes a contact with an agent using a mirror. Karl covers his escape and eliminates the pursuers, so the agent is safely moved out of the square. Four days have passed, so it's time to focus back on the fuel camp. The commander there is responsible for organizing radio communications, vehicles and ordnance for the initial NKVD incursions into Berlin. Commander arrives at the camp by train. Karl waits for him to get the radio code book from his hut, then eliminates the commander and destroys the facility. At U-Bahn station, German nuclear scientists captured by NKVD are about to be shipped by train from Achter to Pankow. Karl is sent there to prevent this from happening, or to be more precise, he delays their departure to give an OSS team time to arrive there and extract them. He eliminates the Soviet patrols to clear the way for the OSS boys. Then the train arrives, but the station is filled with NKVD special commandos. No idea what's so special about them. They can't spot a man hiding behind a bench on a train station filled with light. And Karl is killing them one by one and carrying their bodies around. The truck with the scientists arrive. Karl stops them from being loaded onto the train. Fast forward to April 22, a secret German facility in Nordzee has become a priority target for the NKVD. Turns out the only way to get there is by taking a walk through a train tunnels. Karl is sent to capture Dr. Max Lohmann, who is a top-notch when it comes to the nuclear stuff. The factory is used to store heavy water imported from Norway and redistribute it to the number of secret research labs. Lohmann is not happy to be captured, but he's a man of his reason, and choosing between the OSS and the Russians, he agrees to go with Karl. Sniper also persuades a German officer to give him the codes to the factory safe and goes to the roof to help the OSS team, which have been pinned by the German and NKVD, who also is after Lohmann. As you know, the end of the war is all about V2 rockets. Both NKVD and OSS want their hands on this technology. Russians hijacked a German convoy carrying a prototype of the V2 rocket successor. Now they want to transport it to the airport and send it to Russia. First, Karl cuts off the Soviets' communications. Then he destroys the ammo dumps to weaken their supplies, and he also destroys the Katyusas. Then Sniper meets with other OSS teammates and they attack the convoy, securing the truck with the prototypes. Tanks are coming in to strike back, but OSS has Panzerfaust and Karl's backup from the roof. So no worries. Now the war is almost over, and that means that Russians are about to take over Berlin. Dr. Lochmann needs to be extracted from the city while it's still passable. Karl meets with German resistance on his way to the airport to pick up the pilot that will fly them out of the Germany. But tough luck, the pilot was captured, so Karl must get him back first. And it turns out he has a brother who is also held in prison, and he convinces Karl to help him get away. And by convincing, I mean blackmailing Karl that if you won't help me with my brother, I will not fly the plane. So poor Karl goes to find a guy, which of course he does, but the pilot's brother is like, "Oh, thanks man, but I'm not going with you, because I got stuff to do here in Berlin." I mean, are you kidding me? I've been risking the whole operation just because your stupid brother made me, but sure, do what you gotta do. What a family. But at least Thomas the pilot is happy enough to fly Karl and Lochmann out of Berlin. But first, they need to get to the airport, and tanks cut their way. So Karl once again has to take care of a small army by himself, while Lochmann and the pilot are just waiting comfortably on the truck, playing I Spy with My Little Eye or whatever. The team finally reaches the airport, and while pilot Thomas steals the plane, Karl deals with AA guns and soldiers protecting the facility. But the reinforcements keep coming and coming, so they have to take off the plane under heavy enemy fire, and Karl is covering the runaway with his rifle fire, making the last second jump before the plane takes off and flies away to safety. Hitler committed suicide. War is over, and Karl's hard work prevented Soviets from building an atom bomb. Well, at least for a while. And that was the story of the first ever Sniper Elite game. Subscribe the channel if you don't want to miss other video game storylines, and let me know in the comments which game should I do next.
Allied powers. So effectively the Cold War was over. But somehow I knew that this was not the end.